Okay, so these this is interesting. For some time now, I've had to really work at raising and lowering the blade in the saw. And the reason why is because there's some shims here that it basically slides against, and they get worn or gummed up or gooed up over time. So I'm trying to get in here and figure out how to fix them. I've taken the panels off the sides of the saw, which come off with anywhere between 6 and 4 screws on either side. This panel I can't entirely remove because it's connected to a ground thing here, and I could just disconnect that, but I'm leaving it for now. But I'm about to figure out how to take this motor out and adjust the shims. And I promise I will get back to this. I got the flywheel, which you saw in a previous video, and I just need to figure out the pressure plate clutch disc throwout bearing and what kind of mechanism that is. And then, assuming I get all that sorted, I will bolt that to that. So the article I'm using to help me rebuild this is on this getthenews.net posting from the BT3000 table saw. So there's the bow shield. It's a lubricant. And here's where we're going to polish. Polish right here along this side. And right here along this side. So there's some areas where it was binding right up here. And the shims, where do the shims go? There's 2 sets of shims. There's these guys. So they put the shims back in, they put new shims in. So these were the old shims. These type go on this side, and they give you an idea. So this, I replaced this whole piece. I got this off eBay. There's nothing wrong with this one, but you know, I just figured I'd replace it while I was there, cutting cheap parts. The way that these work, they sit like that. Okay. They sit like that. Oops, I did that one up. Like that. So I lubed them all up with this bow shield stuff. I didn't coat them like the article says. I just lubed them. And since I have new-ish parts, I figured I could get away with that. This bow shield stuff smells like WD-40. Once I had these assembled, they're kind of a bitch to put on here because they want to fall off as you're sitting here struggling with it. So what I did on the other side, there's these shims that go on the back side, and they have these little tabs here. You know, see if you can see that. So they kind of hang on the motor on this side. So you hang these guys back here, and you can see that these holes are offset. The thinner portion of the wall around the hole goes towards the motor arbor. So they hang back here. And so what the whole thing does is it kind of creates a sandwich like this around the aluminum rail here. So this whole, the rail goes through here, and it's just sliding up and down this. So It's really kind of a crude design. And you can see that what makes the whole thing work is just a right angle gearing, you know, a bevel gear interacting with another bevel gear, which turns this threaded rod. And as that threaded rod turns, there's a fixture on the motor, and it just moves it up and down. But the beautiful thing is, you know, I also lubed up all that. So as it's turning, that's real smooth now. And the next part is put all this crap back together, flip her over, and then put the new fence on. So what sucks about this is it's really stupid. I don't know if you can see that little screw right there. Right there. And I need that to get in there. And this thing is loose. It's a bitch. So these two screws here are very critical to getting this to seat just right. It basically presses around this part of the shaft, and that part of the shaft is very important because it is keyed, because that's what you hold steady when you put a blade on. And the rest of these basically push the shims against this track very tightly. So if we want to see that it works, a little bit dangerous here, I've got everything open, but I'm going to just turn it on and see what the motor does. Hooray.